Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. I had to get comfortable on this couch real quick. So like I said, we're back with a review. Bridgerton season 4, part 2. We're back. As usual, we don't know where to start. This was a good season. Starting off where part 1 ended. Matter of fact, before we get into this, I want you guys to definitely take the time to subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment below on if you guys were expecting part 2 of season 4 to be this spicy, especially the ending with spoiler alert. There's gonna be a lot of spoiler alerts in here, so I just want to pre-warn you guys. If you guys haven't watched it, go watch it, then come back and watch the review, or at least watch my live reaction, the previous video from this, because it's a lot. It's a lot, and we're gonna be doing more and more reviews, whether it's Bridgerton, anything romance related, especially the new drops that are gonna be coming out this year in theaters or series. We're gonna be definitely reviewing them. Might even throw a few old gems in there. So definitely comment below on any recommendations that you guys have. But getting right into this review. So, as you guys can see, my hair is like all messed up. I pinned it up because I want it to be comfy and, enjoy this. Next time we have to do something a little bit different. But, okay, starting off with how part 1 ended with Lord and Lady Lord Anderson and Miss Bridgerton hooking up, and Lord Bridgerton asking her to be his mistress. A lot of foreshadow happened there. Things turned up a notch towards the end, but it was this season. Part 2 was definitely really suspenseful. There was a lot of things that we did not expect to happen. For one, when we left off at part 1, we did not know why the Earl's cousin just magically popped up out of nowhere. That was interesting. And then throughout the season, her and Francesca became friends. Spoiler alert to no warning at all from any of us. He passed away. Very sad for Francesca. And she thought because she made friends with his cousin, things would be well. But she just dipped off on her after Francesca asked her to stay. Lord, and there's some secret stuff that, they were hinting to that we didn't get quite into, but I'm assuming it's going to be something for the next season. Speaking of next season, I think this is going to be about Eloise, because she's like they kind of gave us the feel that she's warming up to marriage, and she's starting to appreciate companionship and starting to get a better understanding of love and what comes with it, and the beautiful side of it, not just the harsh, horrendous possibilities that can happen with companionship, especially around that time being linked to someone. But she's fortunate enough to have a family that cares about love matches and understands that, yes, affluence and love shouldn't be negotiated. It should be a matter of choice and a matter of circumstance, like the circumstances of you finding the person that you love, and the circumstances of maybe one of you or both of you being in a place of security from a monetary standpoint. And regardless of that, I think that Eloise is warming up to the idea of love, so I'm really eager to see how things turn out. Obviously, our beautiful Hyacinth, she's gonna make her debut next season. Maybe she's not. She said she's gonna hold off to find herself. I think that was and she was having that conversation with Eloise, so I think that was them kind of like setting up the next season to let us know that it won't be about Hyacinth, it'll be more about Eloise, especially since Eloise was the one that had that conversation with Hyacinth. But either way, I know I'm talking like I was there, like this is my life, but I'm just a spectator like the rest of you. But moving on from that, obviously we got to see more of Gregory this season. I think that we're probably going to see less of Colin Bridgerton and Penelope because she put her pen down as far as Lady Whistledown. But to our surprise, a new Lady Whistledown came out of nowhere, which I'm thinking it may be Eloise. Or maybe it's Cressid Cowper. I think that's how you say her name. Don't judge me if I'm butchering it. But I think it's her because she spends a lot of time in Wales and she picked up a book. So maybe she kept, maybe she kept at it. So those are my 2 guesses for now. So I'm saying it here. So if I'm right, shout out to me. If I'm not right, don't judge me because some of you guys probably wrong too. But anyway, yeah, so obviously we were surprised that Cressida got married and she got actually a love match and he seemed to care for her very much and he's very handsome. So things worked out for her in the end. And they all did the right thing to, just have her go back in society like normal and she's, very happy. So I'm very proud of them for that. Anthony and Kate was a very swift appearance, unfortunately. Wish we saw more of them. Hopefully we see more of them during this season. During the next season, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We do like a lot of the new characters that come in, but at the same time, we do want them to keep some of the old characters. The fact that Lady Danbury left, we don't have the Duke and Duchess anymore. Anthony and Kate are making little changes in their appearance. Appearing less during the season. It looks like Penelope and Collins might appear less. Who knows what happens with Benedict and Sophie? So there's a lot of unexpected things. I hope that they don't do, if they add more people to, to be more the main character roles. Like, we know we still have Lady Bridgerton, but, I don't want them to change so much to the point where, you don't have any of the characters that you fell in love with. But you know what? I'm not the writers, I'm not the producers. Hopefully they do a good mix of everything and not take too much out. And who never knows? Maybe for the season finale, maybe that'll be Hyacinth's debut or Gregory's. Who knows? And maybe all the cast will come back, which it will be cool. But who knows? But anyway, yeah, very spicy. Obviously the Queen, her heartfelt moments with bringing in Miss Mondridge to letting Lady Danbury go was definitely a hard pill for all of us to swallow. We love Lady Danbury and we don't want her to go anywhere. But, she has to live her life. But there was a lot of spiciness. That stepmama, very, 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 very unfortunate. Very, very, very unfortunate circumstances. But you know what? Everyone gets what they deserve because she tried to put our girl in jail, Sophie, and then she ended up getting exposed for doing worse fraud and theft and lying to Sophie. She stole her dowry. She gave it to her daughter. She lied about obviously her not being in the will. She collected money from her for 4,000 pounds a year since she was little, since her dad passed away. And she made her believe that her dad didn't love her, all because she was upset that her dad didn't tell her about a limited child, which I know would be like a shock, right? But why would you take the anger out on the husband? Deal with that between you and your marriage. The child had nothing to do with coming into this world, let alone the decisions that her father chose to tell you and chose not to tell you. So that's really unfair, and that's a lot. But luckily, she does have one daughter that has a really good heart, and Miss Posey seems to maybe be getting married. She seems to have found a suitor at the end, towards the end, and we saw her dancing with him. So I think that things are going to work out well overall for that family, specifically for Miss Posey. So we're hoping the best. They're rooting for her. But now getting into Benedict and... Matter of fact, I'm going to leave that for last. Let's get into Lord Anderson and Lady Bridgerton. She took us on a whole whirlwind with that. He's obviously willing and ready to commit. He loves her. And she's just like, hey, I've been hesitant. I'm making all the excuses with my daughter's husband dying or maybe my children, blah, blah, blah. It was something after another. And I came to the realization that maybe it's just me wanting to know what it's like to be free again, to encounter what it is not to be a wife and be a mother, but still have you in my life, just still sleeping around with you. And shout out to Lord Anderson. Even though we love Lady Bridgerton, she has our hearts. He was just like, no, that's not good enough for me. He basically said, look, I want all your happiness in the world, but I want a life with you. And if I would have known that you would want the same thing for me, if eventually you would want the same thing to have a life together, then I'd say. And she just said, I care for you deeply, which is a hint because she's big on love matches. She's huge on love matches. So she doesn't love him. She doesn't love him. And he knows her best. Not best, but he's observed her enough to know that things won't change. She would just use him. And he wants to have a wife, he wants to have a family, or them to be together, legitimately. And he kisses her hands and he walks away. And, she says, Marcus, please, Marcus, please. He kisses her hand and walks away. That took us by surprise because he was on his due diligence with Lady Bridgerton, and it breaks my heart to see them not together. I'm hoping something happens next season where they reconcile. She realizes how much she loves him, and they find a way for her to still have her freedom, but they end up together. So fingers crossed there. That definitely took us by a shock. But going on to last but not least, Sophie and Benedict. Oh, Benedict, excuse me. Oh, that was they took us on a whirlwind of like, is she going to be a mistress? Are they going to be together? Did she just deny him? Anthony was saying some facts. Oh, all this stuff. Oh, she's about to go to jail. He's about to lose her to the America. Like, it was just so much going on. And it definitely was spicy, definitely was creative. Definitely you didn't like at how episode 5 ended, you really didn't know which direction they were going to go. And same thing with episode 6. And I think it became more clear during episode 7 that, they started to tell the truth to one another. Sophie obviously wanted to protect Benedict, so she kept certain things. And she was like hinting at certain things towards him. But at towards episode 8, she just put it all out there, who her dad was, how they came to be, all this other stuff. And, the whole stuff with her stepmom trying to put her in prison definitely made her come out more and be more truthful about her origin. And they were able to work out a deal, kind of like forced a deal, But you know what? They were in the right because they were helping her get what was rightfully hers all along, which is why we love the Bridgerton family. But anyway, their whole love thing on how things unfolded, the character development within Benedict, of starting off when we left off part 1. Obviously, start of it, he was very uncommittal. Then he meets Sophie, falls in love, doesn't know that Sophie, the girl in the silver dress, then meets the actual Sophie as a maid, falls in love with her, and then he asks her to be his mistress, which is in a way uncommittal because he knows that can change at any time if he doesn't want it anymore. He's not committed to marriage, which around that time they took marriage very seriously from a legal standpoint, from a societal standpoint. There was no like divorcing back then. It's like you stick this through and that's it, which I respect very much. So it's still in a non-committal position. So when season part comes in, you see him kind of unfold, like truly getting into his emotions, truly understanding what he's feeling by the inspirations of other married people around him. I think it's kind of, for me, it started off when Collins was speaking to Gregory, their little brother, about not letting fear take over what could truly be special, and being brave enough as a man to go after what you want, to be brave enough as a man to put yourself out there, especially like when the signs are mutual, and take a chance for love, take a chance for something that could really be extraordinary. And that touched me so in my soul because I wish a lot of men nowadays took that same courage and not let fear interfere with who and what they truly want, and not letting fear take, something that could be so beautiful. And it was a very powerful moment for Benedict and, for the people watching, because we got to see him transform and got to see him kind of work through that fear through inspiration of hearing his younger brother fall in love and how he kind of went about his marriage. And we obviously know from season 3 how that kind of went about. So it was really nice to see Benedict unfold into a strong gentleman that looked at love and took it by the horns and said, I'm going to find a way to make this happen. And you see it from that moment on, whether if he's consulting Mr. Mondridge, or whether if he's getting inspiration from his siblings on their love, on their relationships. Even when his sister's husband Francesca passed away, Her words even inspired him to finally take that leap to propose. Him talking to his mom about, what the right thing to do is, and how he wants to be with her, but he can't. And she says, marry the girl. She won't say no if you marry her. You asking to be her mistress is what's giving her hesitancy. And I want to harp on that for a moment, because I know there's a lot of women out there that will gladly take comfort, that will gladly take that position. And I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to judge someone who's okay with being a mistress. But what I will say to women out there, something that Anthony said that was important, something that kind of tied into what Miss Bridgerton was saying, is that the security of a marriage isn't just the legal obligations of what that is. It's a security from the inside out for both men and women, that we're intentionally taking something that's so sacred, communal within us, and we're taking that step despite all the fear to move forward out of something within us that's so strong. And what I'm trying to say is, what I want women to understand is what I believe Sophie was trying to fight for, is to be loved out loud, to not be hidden, to not take something that's below your station for the sake of you trying to feel safe. Because if you subject yourself to that, there is no safety that comes with that ever. That man could leave at any time. That man can change his mind. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, same thing with marriage, same thing with nowadays. And I want to say this plainly. There is obviously a fundamental difference between being a man's wife and being a man's mistress. And let's just be very clear. A lot of men, especially sometimes being in the right state of mind and not being in the right state of mind of men, sometimes. On being on the right state of mind most of the time. Being on the not right state of mind sometimes. But I don't think women understand how seriously men take that position of being a wife. And you probably find yourself in a position where you've given so much to a man, he didn't choose you. That doesn't mean you're undeserving not to be a wife, but that doesn't mean you should subject yourself to be someone's mistress. And that's why I love this season, because if a man truly loves you, even if he makes the mistake of hurting you, even if he made the mistake of maybe, not going about things the most ideal way, if he truly loves you and if he's truly sorry, he will come for you and he will make things right. And I'm not saying that's everyone's story. There's sometimes where guys know right away, this is what I want and I'm going to go about it the right way, and they do. And shout out to them. But sometimes there are guys that, whether if it's fear of not committing, whether if it's fear of abandonment, whether if it's just fear of being vulnerable or putting themselves out there, if she's worth it to that man, he's going to make it right. He's going to make it right. And I'm happy that throughout everything, despite how hard it was in certain times where temptation was at the door, how Sophie stayed true to the end and she got her title as a wife. And I would want that for every woman out there. I really, really do. So I hope that this season definitely teaches us all something. To be open-minded, to not be too judgmental, but most importantly, to not settle for something that you don't want deep down. And to not lower yourself for the sake of being with someone who says that they love you. If they truly love you, and this goes for both sides, they'll meet you where you're at. They'll make it work the right way. They won't hide you. They'll love you out loud, and they'll find a way to make do and honor you in holy matrimony. So that's all I have for today. This is my review of Bridgerton. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys watched part 2. I enjoyed it very much. I can't wait for the next season. But that's all I have for now. So I'm going to end it here. But remember, do subscribe to the channel. Do drop a comment below if you guys did enjoy Bridgerton Part 2. Maybe if you guys have a different opinion from what I thought. I would love to hear it regardless, but I'll see you guys in my next video. Remember that I'm going to be doing more reactions, so do drop a comment below if there's anything specific that you guys want me to watch. Romance related. I'm not sure if it has a little bit of thrill or, you know, horror, please warn me, because your girl doesn't do well with that. But yeah, I can't wait for the rest of 2026 to see all the amazing movies and series that are going to be dropping. I'll see you guys in my next video. So, bye.